Hey everybody, happy Saturday. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss the Real Housewives of Orange County, episodes 5 and 6. Y'all, come on in the room. Make sure to hit that like button as you come on in. Remember, the like button is free, okay? So hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and let me know that you're in here. Yes, hey y'all. How are y'all doing? When I tell y'all, this last episode of Orange County had me screaming. Tamra has officially lost every piece of her mind. And Heather, girl, I just want to say, how do you feel going so hard for somebody who could talk to you the way that she did at the end of episode 6? I said, girl, a hot mess. But yeah, guys, now I'm going to tell you, since it's 2 episodes, a double recap, I'm going to be breezing past episode 5. I'm not going to go every single scene because we have to make some time. All right. You know, it's a Saturday. It's a gorgeous day. So we got places to be, people to see. Right. All right. So we're going to breeze through both episodes, but I'm still going to make it fun. All right. But yes, y'all. Listen. Yes, Tamra lost her mind years ago and did. You said you haven't watched the episode, but you will listen while you drive. Okay. Oh, you said Simon was right. I'm screaming. Oh, this was a really good episode. This was a really, yes, happy Saturday. Okay, guys. So let's start off with episode 5. It takes place at Gina's house. She's having her housewarming. We all know that Gina moved into a brand new home. Travis is living with her. I don't know why, but we'll talk about that later. But let me say, Gina, you know I don't see it for you. But it's a real sad day when I have to give you your just due. I'm not going to give you your 10s, Gina, but I will give you your 5s. Girl, did you all see the spread that Gina had at that housewarming? I said, come on, Gina. I said, Gina rubbed that $20 together and made it work. I counted 6 bottles of Veuve Clicquot. She had fresh crab. A chef was there. I said, is this Gina? Miss Gina has bottles of champagne and not the cheap stuff. She had the good stuff. I said, Gina, and Gina had fresh crab. I said, okay. I said, Gina, again, you did that one little thing. You did that one little thing, okay? Yes, honey, I was shocked. Listen, I was blown away, all right? I said, honey, blew my edges right on back. I said, okay, girl. I said, well, shut me up then, because Gina knows how I get on her every single season. But Miss Gina, you did that. Don't get used to me complimenting you, but you did do that, okay? We bullied her into class. We did. You said that Chili's check came in handy. Surprisingly, it wasn't from Chili's. She did better than Potomac. I was surprised. Listen, Gina low-key put the Potomac girls to shame, honey. Potomac, step it up. Because when Miss Gina is out doing y'all, that's a problem. Listen, we've seen them have beans and franks and 1 bagel and a slice of cheese on Potomac. A hot mess. Brooke gonna always whack Gina, but she's gonna do it with a plate in hand. I'm screaming. Honey, listen, yeah, Gina watches, honey. Gina watches. Gina used that employee discount and had Chili's cater the thing. Wow. You said, congratulations, Gina. LOL, happy Saturday. You made her day. When I tell you said a single slice of Kraft cheese and a strawberry. Y'all will not. Listen, okay? Listen, y'all. Let's move on. I don't want to stay on this whole thing about Gina's spread, but Miss Gina, 5 points for you, girl. You did that. So we see everybody arriving. Now, can I say something? Jen, I don't know if you mailed your gift to Gina before you got there, but I've noticed that Jen will come to somebody's house empty-handed. And she will drink up all your liquor and eat you at a house and home. Jen, why would you come to Gina's house empty-handed? I said, girl, it's her housewarming. Like, what are we doing here? Miss Jen, I like you, but I'm gonna need you to come with a gift in hand, okay? No, you are not late. You are not late. We just started. We are 5 minutes in. You are on time. Okay. You said much better than Potomac's Fig Newtons. Yeah, right. At least a bottle of wine. Damn. Jen can be tacky at times. Yes, she can be. I'm like, girl, you are getting a Bravo check. It's your third season on the show. You're with Ryan. Ryan has a coin. There's no reason for you not to take Ryan's Amex and go to the wine shop and get, go to Crate and Barrel, go to Williams Sonoma and buy a nice gift. Everybody came in with a gift in hand, and you came in empty-handed, ready to eat and drink. All right. It's always the folks who will come empty-handed who will eat you at a house and home. It's a mess. Right? Not even a cute little bouquet. Exactly. Flowers, wine, even a candle. Agreed, that was tacky. Yes. You said Jen is saving up for a Birkin. Well, she needs to do better. So now we see they're all saying how happy they are for Gina. It's a move upward. They say how she deserves it. So now we have Gina saying that the chef that's there today, she's the one who did her boat party. Now, I forgot all about that boat party that Gina threw 2 seasons ago. I don't remember. I mean, Gina has thrown such few parties since she's been on the show for 8 years that I have forgotten that she's ever even thrown a party besides this housewarming. The only other party I remember is that dinner that she threw last season. But yeah, I mean, Gina, nobody remembers that boat party. But anyhow, she says that she goes on to say, oh yeah, who was at my boat party? And then Emily says Jen was. So Gina says, oh, Jen, I'm sorry. I thought that you were Tamra. So now Gina starts asking if her and Tamra met up for dinner. And Jen says, yes, after Heather's party, me and Tamra met up and things went left. She started saying how I'm single white female. I'm obsessed with her. So now Gretchen's like, wait, she said that you're single white female? Like, what? So now Jen says that, Gina says, well, actually, Heather told me the other day that Tamra pulled out a fatty picture of you and it's on her phone. So they're all like, wait, what? Gretchen's like, are you serious? Jen says, wait, what's Tamra's point in doing this? So now Jen says, how can you cry about a low point in your life, but you dig up a fatty picture of me? So now you have Emily in the background talking about, Tamra could use my fatty pictures and post them of me. I wouldn't care. Emily, let me stop you. Emily Simpson, let me stop you right now. You will not sit up here and try to make a joke about, your body and a fatty picture when we have dealt with your insecurities about your looks since you got on the show. And it really it really hit a boiling point last season. You cried for 40 days and 40 nights because Heather gave you a size 12 blazer. You were talking about she was shading you, and I had Heather's back with that. Heather did nothing wrong. Heather said, girl, I asked for your measurements. The designer, sewed it up, and that was what they did. Like, it fits you. Like, the blazer did fit you. It didn't look bad. But for you to sit up there and now make a joke about, oh, yeah, girl, show all my fatty pictures, we're not going to do that. Not when you cried and cried and cried about your body image issues and how you felt like Heather was shading you. So I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it now. And you are so far up Tamra's behind. It's like, girl, you really want to be Tamra. You want to be her. You want to live in her skin. You want to be her best friend. Because for you to make a joke like that, I mean, and also, let's not forget, when you first came on the show, your first season, Tamra called you Shrek, and you spiraled about that. You crashed out about that. So don't sit up here and try to make a joke now about, oh, yeah, girl, you could show my fatty pictures. Stop. Because we know that's not true. Like, please, Emily, stop. It's so annoying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Emily is beyond annoying. She is. Emily cried about a damn jacket. She said, shut up. She's desperate. She is. No, she cried. That was a storyline last season for at least 7 of the episodes. That fashion show happened in episode 9. Emily was still talking about that episode 16. I said, oh my gosh. I said, Lord, today. I said, it's crazy. Low key, Emily's giving Sutton. Oh, she is. I pray that Brooke does a live about Todd's video. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about that for the Miami recap. Emily's such a hypocrite. What does Tamra have on these girls? It's crazy. Oh, this is a top. Thank you. I got it at Bloomingdale's. Thank you. Thank you so much. That damn jacket should have its own tagline. I'm screaming. Oh, you know I'm going to talk about that. She just wants Tamra to touch her every chance she gets. She is so desperate for Tamra, for Tamra's approval. So now, we now have everybody's now at the party, and sorry, I lost my spot. Okay, no, we see Heather arrive. Heather's gift was everything. She got Gina an ice cream maker. So now they're asking her, how was her trip to Paris? She was there for 2.5 days to see her daughter, Max. And so now we see Tamra arrive. So of course, Tamra's being dramatic. She's like, oh God, help me. She says after her fight with Jen, her social anxiety has worsened. Your social anxiety has worsened because Jen ate you up in the last episode. Tamra, you have sat here and plotted on people. You have really plotted on people's demise. How dare you play victim? And let me say, shout out to Gretchen, because the way Gretchen has her foot firmly planted on Tamra's neck and is not letting up, I love every minute of it. Gretchen is not letting Tamra slide. And I said, thank the Lord, we finally have somebody who is not afraid of Tamra. They have been going at it for the last 15 years. And I love how Gretchen doesn't give one single you know what. Exactly. If you're so sad, staying home. Yeah, like she's always the victim. It's always the victim. And say this one more time. Listen, I'll tell you guys, like I always say, my misery does not like company. If I'm in a bad mood, I will stay home. I don't believe in ruining everybody else's time because I'm feeling away. I can't stand people who will go to an event knowing that they're in a bad mood and they want to F up the entire event for everybody else. I don't do that. If I'm feeling away, which I know that I just can't change my mood or my attitude, then I will stay home, because it's not fair to anybody else to ruin their day. So now, of course, it's a bit awkward. Everybody's at the party. And you have... Oh, let me say, I forgot this. When Shannon came to the house, I didn't like Shannon was so dry when she was like, oh, Gina, your house is so nice. And even Gina said, like, wow, Shannon, like, you can't give a better response than that. Like, I thanks. And I've noticed that about Shannon. When it's somebody else's special moment, Shannon can be real dry, and I don't like that. I just kind of felt like, Shannon, somebody getting a brand new house is a big deal. And you need to show some enthusiasm, like be happy for people. And Shannon, I'm going to tell you just like this, you are really getting on my nerves this season, and you're giving us Karen energy. And Shannon, it's a damn shame, because I rode so hard for you last season, and for you to show out like this when it comes to you and Katie, I don't like it, but we'll talk about that later on. But your response to Gina's house was real weak. I need you to work on that. Somebody gets a brand new house, you need to show a bit more enthusiasm than just, oh yeah, this is nice. Like, girl, what? I didn't like that. Yeah, Shannon has a history of doing this. It's giving salty. After a situation last year, Shannon should be loving all the houses. Yeah, very Karen energy. I think I'm officially off the Shannon Express. Same here. Shannon is insecure, not happy with herself, so she can't be happy for others. I agree with that. Shannon is so self-centered, which is disappointing. Yes, Shannon is self-centered. That's what it really is. Because for you to walk into somebody's brand new house and be like, oh, this is nice, and gave that weak smile, I'm like, are you okay, Shannon? It's not always about you. Yes, ever since Shannon lost her house with David, she's been like this. That's very true. You said Sharon energy. Some women hate to see women thriving and doing well. It makes them angry. I agree. Sounds more like bitter. Yeah, it just gives me it gives bitter, it gives a little bit of jealous or envy. It also feels like you always wanted to see Gina beneath you. Like, you know how there are people where, and I talk about this all the time, when you start moving up and you start catching up to people who might have been ahead of you financially, when you match their level or you're right at the cusp of joining them, they get weird. They wanted you to stay all the way down here while they're all the way up here. And I think that Shannon is feeling a way that she feels that Gina might be catching up. Well, she is moving on up because she is doing a lot better. But I feel that Shannon might be feeling a way like, oh, damn, she might pass me by. And that happens. Like, who are you? I didn't like that. I said, Shannon, when you have me over here siding with Gina, that's how I know you have me messed up. Yes, I love Shannon and Heather, but they've been losing me. I agree. Shannon needs a man and is very miserable. She needs something. So now we have so everybody's at the house. Heather says that it's really awkward. There's an awkward silence. So we have Gretchen asking Gina what's her favorite part of the house. Gina says, I love having a pantry now. I like having my drawers. She means to say drawers, but she says drawers. Now, they all start teasing her about her accent. I told you guys in the last recap, Gina over-exaggerating the New York accent is getting annoying. Gina, you have not lived on Long Island in over 17 years. You've been in Orange County all this time. Your accent has not developed that much. Like, you haven't been in New York for almost 2 decades. Like, what are we doing? It just gives me that Gina is doing anything to be relevant and have a moment. Because you didn't, I mean, your voice was always kind of nails on a chalkboard, but it wasn't this pronounced. Your accent wasn't this pronounced when you first joined. You're obviously putting it on. It's like, girl, for what? Like, do you need attention that bad? Like, I don't know. Gina, girl, I just need you to stop doing the most. Like, please. And before anybody says, well, that's how New Yorkers talk, girl, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from New York. So please. Gina knows good and damn well that her accent has not gotten heavier since being out of New York for almost 2 decades. Just saying. Yes, Gina is putting 20 on 10. She is. I'm screaming. It's so true. Yes, her fake scent. Yes, very much so. I was like, where did that come from? Gina's vocal fry gets me every time. What else does she have? Let her have her faux Long Island accent, which is not a flex, but okay. Honey, yeah, okay, that is not New York. LOL, too much. Gina was trying to do a Valley accent, and it's not working. It is not working at all. You said it was a waxent. Oh gosh, yes, I'm from New York too, and I hate how people not from here think they can tell us how we talk. They exaggerate the hell out of it. Exactly. You said she has her Chili's job. I'm a New Yorker, Brooklyn born and raised, and live on Long Island. We don't speak like that. I know. I just said, girl, what are we doing? She chose the accent of a cartoon mob boss. Exactly. She's trying to give us Goodfellas. You know, it's like, please, Gina, it's embarrassing. Just stop. You said, y'all are so funny. Okay. So now we have Katie asking Tamra, how did things go the other day between her and Jen? Tamra's playing victim. Tamra says, well, things went south quickly because she started calling me names. So now Gretchen's right on it. Gretchen says, well, didn't you call her a single white female? And Tamra says, well, yeah, because she asked me. So now she goes on to say, you're reaching out to people who don't like me. So Gretchen says, well, who is that? So Tamra says, like you. So Gretchen says, well, yeah, she reached out to me because she needed some consoling. You were going around saying that Ryan got raided by the FBI, and she was really upset by that. So now Tamra and Gretchen go at it. Gretchen says, I'm sorry, Tamra, but it feels like you have yet to learn your lesson, and you keep doing the same things over and over, and it's really sad. So now you have Tamra saying, Gretchen, I don't want to go there with you. Like, please stop. And Gretchen says, you know what? You're delusional. And she excuses herself and goes outside to join everybody else. Now, mind you, outside on Gina's patio, we see Emily, Heather, Jen, and Shannon talking about the whole issue with Jen, Jen's fatty picture being exposed by Tamra. So you have, sorry, I don't know why I keep like losing place with my notes. You have Jen calling out Heather for being on Tamra's side about showing the picture. So Heather says, well, she was only showing it to show how different you looked. I said that you looked cute. So Jen's like, wait, so she showed the picture to be kind? And Heather's like, well, no, it was more of you wanted to be her. So I love how Jen is really calling out Heather's BS. And she's like, Heather, you know that this does not make any sense. You're being disingenuous right now. You know that Tamra's full of it because no person who's trying to be nice is showing you an old picture of somebody and they're not trying to read them. So now you have Heather getting upset and she says, Jen, it's not my fight. And I said, but Heather, it's not your fight, but you're the same person who wanted everybody to have your side when Tamra got the whole group against you. Remember that? It was Jen's first season when Tamra got everybody to exclude you and ice you out the group. And Jen was on your side. Jen was like, well, this isn't right. Heather's been really nice to me. So for you to say, well, it's not my fight, I don't need to fight your battles. Well, that's BS, Heather, because when you're on the outs with the group, you want somebody to say what's right and what's wrong. And Heather, I've lost a lot of respect for you because you know good and damn well that what Tamra's doing is dead ass wrong. And I don't know if Tamra is blackmailing you, but you're moving really funny. I've seen you stand up to Tamra before. Yes, you've always been afraid of her, but not to this level. And what you're doing is shameful. You know that what Tamra's doing is petty. It's just so upsetting. Yes, Tamra, Emily, and Heather, Gina should all be ashamed of themselves. They should be. Heather's going outside for Tamra Judge, who will betray her once again. Exactly. Heather knows Tamra was rude as hell for showing that picture, but at the same time, she's trying to tell the others how much Tamra's grown. She needs to cut the bull. I give Gina credit for her analysis on Watch What Happens Live. Yes, Heather is very disappointing. I don't like it. I'm like, Heather, I understand that you don't want to be on Tamra's bad side, but I'm sorry, sis. You're going out pathetic. Let me tell you something right now. There's not enough money in the world that would have me going outside like this. Like, I'm sorry. Heather, you look crazy. So now I love how Shannon jumped in and Shannon says, I'm sorry, but Tamra is not somebody who does anything innocently. Like, let's be so for real. So now Jen says, Heather, you don't think that it's effed up? You don't do that to another woman. Heather's like, why are you so mad? I didn't say that that's messed up, but it wasn't presented like that. I was being very non-committal about the whole thing. Heather, when Tamra turns on you next season, I don't want to hear it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Tamra, I would love to know, what is it about Tamra that has these women falling in line? I'll never understand it. So now so Gretchen's outside to join them. We have Emily saying, oh, Gretchen, don't you want to apologize and be the bigger person when it comes to Tamra? And Tamra says, no. And Gretchen says, no. She says, you can't reason with somebody who's whacked out. I want to stoop to her level now. I'm tired of being the bigger person. And I agree. I don't think that Gretchen should apologize for reaching out to Tamra's daughter. First of all, Tamra cannot be upset about that. Tamra's daughter put her on blast on Facebook. Facebook is a public social media account, okay? When you post something on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it is now up for public consumption. Your daughter decided to blast you about being a horrible mother, and Gretchen responded. It wasn't like Gretchen sought after your daughter. Your daughter posted something on Facebook and Gretchen commented on it, and that's her right to do so. So no, Emily, Gretchen does not owe Tamra an apology. And also, Emily, why are you so pressed? Mind your business. Emily looks so pathetic trying to be Tamra's mouthpiece. Like, girl, shut up, please. Yeah, I feel Gretchen. I was always a bigger person. Eventually, I said, F it. Yes. She didn't reach out. She posted her thoughts on a public post. Exactly. So now we have everybody outside. Gina gives them all boxes and she says, go outside and wait until I'm by the window to open them. So they're outside with these boxes. Gina leans out the window and she says that they're all in need of a little voodoo magic. And she's planned a trip to New Orleans for all of them. And they're all excited. So as they're opening up their boxes, there's like a masquerade mask and like beads, like all that good stuff. So everybody's having fun except for Tamra. She's visibly upset. She goes inside and it's so clear that Tamra wants attention in the worst way. So now we see Gina downstairs in the kitchen and she's like, Tamra, what's the matter? So she hugs Tamra. Tamra's fake crying. Heather and Emily walk in. They're like, wait a second, what's going on? Or is she okay? I said, y'all both look like the biggest ass kissers. My goodness. So now Heather explains that Tamra's upset because the last time they were in New Orleans, Tamra was with Teddy and Teddy had fallen down some steps and found out that she had tumors in her brain. So that's why she's emotional about Gina's New Orleans trip. So now Gina says, watching Tamra get so upset is making me realize that she's struggling. I said, Gina, will you stop? You're really going to fall for this? Really? Like grow up. Like, come on. Tamra is milking this for a storyline and for sympathy because she knows that she's a horrible person. Stop it. There's nothing, Jen. I'm sorry. I wasn't moved by Tamra's tears about Teddy. I feel sorry for Teddy. My thoughts go out to Teddy. I hope that she beats this. But when it comes to Tamra milking Teddy's illness or, her cancer journey for a storyline, I'm not accepting that. Tamra has been so horrible to people. We've seen Tamra kick folks when they're down. So I don't have any sympathy, about, her friend is dealing with this and, I'm so sad and that's why I've been lashing out. No, ma'am. You don't get to use Teddy's illness as your storyline. And you're only doing it to take yourself off the hot seat because you've been such an awful person. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just not. She's so full of it. Yeah, it's so low down to use Teddy's illness in this way. It's nasty work. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh my gosh. Let me just say my condolences to you. I'm very sorry to hear this. I'm very sorry to hear that. My deepest condolences to you. To be honest, Tamra's crazy was fake. Sorry, not sorry. Tamra's been lashing out and passing the blame for years. Yes. Blessings to Teddy, but no excuse to abuse people. I agree. When my loved ones are going through it, I don't feel the need to be horrible to everybody around me. I agree. Tamra is using this as the sympathy card because she knows good and well that what she's doing to other people is wrong. And the fact that they're all trying to act like, oh, I understand that Tamra's so hurt by this because no, you guys know that Tamra is full of it. So now we have everybody consoling Tamra. Tamra says that she has so many thoughts going through her head. I love how Gretchen and Shannon were not here for it. They didn't buy into it. Gretchen says that Tamra is an expert at playing the victim and she's not going for it. I said, Gretchen, we see each other because that's exactly how I feel. This is nothing but a sympathy grab because she knows that she's wrong. Now we're going to skip past this scene, but with Emily at home talking to Shane about her son possibly being on the spectrum and the whole thing about him not wanting to eat. Emily, I'm going to say it just like I told you in the first episode. Respectfully, you're on this show to talk about yourself. Your kids did not sign up for this. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right for you to use your 10-year-old son about him possibly being on the spectrum as your storyline. And there have been several times where I have felt like you are over exaggerating what's going on for sympathy and also for a storyline, because your storyline has been non-existent for quite some time. But I don't think it's fair to put your minor kids on display like this. He has to go to school with his peers. Like, I don't think it's right. Whether or not he is on the spectrum or not, I don't think that's right to put that on blast. Like, he didn't give consent for you to talk about this. I don't like that. It's not right. It's not our business at all. It is not. It's not our business. That boy is too young. He's too little to have his business out on display like this. I don't like that. Yes, he did. Shane alluded to her overreacting to the situation too. He did say that. He was just like, he's a little boy. This is normal. I feel like I was trying not to say it, but yes, Shane did out her for like, okay, girl, you're putting 20 on 10. You're doing a bit too much. The same issue that we had with Mia from Potomac. Exactly. Emily has been dying to be the main character and is grasping at anything. I agree with that. Shane looks like he's checked out on this one too. Exactly. Same thing Gina did with her daughter. Yup. Yes. Oh my gosh. When she said that, I was annoyed. I said, her son looks just fine. He looks like, he has friends. He has his twin brother. They're close. When she said, he's so dependent on me and I always feel guilty when I go away. I said, Emily, if you feel that guilty about being away from your kid, then you wouldn't be on this show then. This show takes you away from your kids for like a good chunk of the year. You have to do the appearances, BravoCon. You're always, you're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of press runs. If you were that concerned, you would not be doing the show. Also, your son looks happy and fine to me. He doesn't look like he's so codependent and he can't leave your side. He looked just fine to me. In my opinion. I said, okay. You said Emily is projecting again. She's codependent on Tamra, a woman who has verbally abused her. Child. It's like Emily and Gina pick stories out of a hat. Emily's just desperate. I agree. Because I'm sorry. I'm not seeing this whole thing. This whole story about the son, we don't need to be a part of this. He is too young. That's not our business, and it's not right. Yes, she does. Emily makes like the child is about to be hospitalized. Yes, you would think that something was wrong with the way she's acting. Her son is just fine. He's playing and having a good old time and laughing and talking and joking around. Like he's, we see him walking the dogs with her and his twin brother. He seems like a happy kid to me. I don't see any issues. I will give Gina credit because her stories, while boring, definitely feel more natural than Emily's. I agree. Now, I will say, Emily, I don't know who the stylist was who put you in that confessional getup. I was tempted to make that my thumbnail, actually. Emily, whoever put you in that dress, Emily, that has to be one of the worst confessional looks I've ever seen. Let me just move on. Let me move on. But you know the confessional look. Listen, my edges. I said, wait, hold. Let me just stop. But I said, but you were crying over the blazer that Heather put you in the fashion show. That I wrote that in my notes. I said, I don't know who did that look for Emily, but all right. Okay, let's move on. We have Jen and Ryan working out at the gym. Now, when they start talking about the issues with Jen's ex-husband, Will, how he's yet to give her the lump sum settlement. Ryan wants to have a conversation with him. May I tell you something, Jen? Who did you marry? Because when I tell you that Jen married a deadbeat, I mean, please, y'all, please vet these men. Because Jen's ex-husband is a loser. The fact that he has his younger son co-signing on a student loan for the older son, he should be doing that. He's the father. He's the adult. Then on top of that, he's living in a one-bedroom apartment when he has 5 kids, but his kids can't spend the night because obviously he's only in a one-bedroom. Like, girl, who the F did you marry? Because he's a loser. She's yet to get her child support, her spousal support. No, she can't get her alimony. He hasn't given her a lump sum. I'm like, my God. It is crazy. I'm confused by Jen's money situation. If the lump sum came from the sale of their home, then he definitely has it. Yeah, I'm confused by it too. And then one minute, Ryan's not giving her the money to help out. The next minute, Ryan's paying for all her lawyer bills. I'm like, what is going on? Yes, he's a scrub. He is a scrub. He doesn't want anything to do with her or them. He's using Ryan as the out. Yes, she definitely married a bum. She did. Her first season, he seemed nice and he got with her friend and switched up. Yup. Child. Jen needs to start garnishing wages and go back to court. I agree. You said Ryan should think twice to get married. They should slow down and get things situated first. I think Ryan and her dad are paying. Yup, having the other son, bum behavior, very much so. Having the other son sign on the loan was all I needed to know about him. She married a bum. She did. Jen needs to use her checks to have her lawyers pressing for that money. At this rate, child support and alimony is pay or go to jail. Shameful. 5 kids ain't cheap. Exactly. Hey, Leonardo Decapitated, thank you for the super chat. The way Gina was not going to let Tamra ruin her one free meal. I'm screaming. Love you, Brooke. Love you right back. Hey, Robert, thank you for the super chat. Happy Saturday. You told me what I'm watching today. Tamra wants all the sympathy and that her black heart doesn't have. Gina leading the Tamra takedown was not on my 2025 bingo card. Emily, respectfully, shut the F up. Yes. Hey, Robert, thank you for the super chat. I love Shannon, but I think she was out of line for screaming at Katie. Oh, yes, and we'll talk about that. I got you. I gotta say, the way Ryan is taking care of her and the kids changed my mind on him. I agree. What does Jen's ex do for work? He no longer works for her family's company. I don't know. I think he might be working. He might be doing nothing. I don't know. It's giving that he doesn't have a job. It's giving that he does not have a job, because the fact that she has yet to get any of her money says a lot. They are all fools. Oh, wait, who are you talking about? Jen, her ex-husband, and Ryan? Who are the fools? Let me know. You said he's working at Chili's. Oh my gosh. Y'all have me in tears. But yeah, listen, y'all. Jen got with a bum, and Jen, I just hope that you can get your money before you get married to Ryan. Now, the scene with Gina and Shannon over at Shannon's house talking, they're talking about Tamra's hypocrisy, about showing the fatty photos of Jen. Shannon makes a great point and says, can you imagine if somebody did that to Tamra? She can dish it out, but she can't take it, and I agree. We get some news from Gina because Shannon's asking Gina, how are things going? Gina says, well, the good news is, things are going well with her business. She showed a house earlier. But the bad news is they haven't seen Travis's son in 3 weeks. His ex-wife stopped sending him to school. And she says it's because we've moved back in together and she feels guilty. Now, Gina, I'm going to tell you just like this. And Gina, don't ever say that I've never given you some good advice. I know that we joke on Gina. I know I whack Gina, but Gina, you know how I feel about women getting with bums. It seems like you're doing all the heavy lifting in that relationship. This man is not your husband. You don't have to put up with all this. His ex-wife is clearly crazy. Are they officially divorced yet? Her making your life a living hell. You don't need this. And also, Gina, Travis would not be living with me. First of all, my thing is this. A man moving in with a woman, I was told absolutely not. The man needs to have a place for you to move into, or you keep your own places. But a man moving into a woman's home, absolutely not. The fact that I'm like, I know that Travis, you guys both work together, but it seems like clearly you're making more money than he is. He's not selling enough houses because this whole thing is a mess. You don't need to put up with this. And I feel like you're just desperate to have a man because your ex-husband is engaged. And I feel like you want to keep up with your ex-husband. But baby, you don't need to put up with all this. You can do bad all by yourself. Travis would not be living in my home with his 3 children, and I would not be putting up with all this mess like we're married. His ex-wife is clearly crazy. Why do you want to deal with this? I said, this is a mess. The bums of OC. Your kid's peace of mind should come before a man that you love. Okay? I agree. Travis seems like he's just clinging onto her fame and money. They aren't equally yoked. She's keeping him around because of the time she's invested. I agree with that. Isn't this illegal to prevent Travis from seeing his son if it's a part of the separation agreement? Yep, just because Matt's fine ass moved on. I'm shocked that Gina feels comfortable having his kids in the house, knowing how their mother feels. Okay. Hey, your agent Kayla. Thank you for the super chat. I'm late, but I was waiting on this recap. Tamra is just vile and bitter. How did Travis move in? Swindled on TV and proud of it. Desperate. Yeah, I remember Gina moved Travis in early. They were dating. They dated for like 6 months and he had moved in. I've always felt like Gina and Travis are 2 rebounds who are there to split the bills and go 50-50. I don't see the connection. I don't see any romance between them. I think that it's just they're 2 desperados who are together because they want to say that they have somebody. And Gina, you're a fool if you actually marry this man. Gina's going to be Shannon in 15 years. Tamra, Heather, Gina, and Emily are fools. Yes, and when Gina kicked him out, it was tears. Yeah, it was tears because he had to pay his own bills now. He didn't have it. That's why he was crying. I agree. I think she's competing with her ex getting married. I think she's still, I've always thought that she was still in love with him. Always. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we're on the same page. So now we see them all getting ready for the New Orleans trip. I thought it was so funny when Shannon called up one of her daughters and she said, I'm going to New Orleans. And she was talking about voodoo and all that stuff. And her daughter said, do you believe that the Lord Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? And she said, yes, girl, I do. That was so funny to me. I could not stop laughing. I said, I know that's right. So anyhow, it's the day of the trip. And mind you, they're splitting up into 2 groups, right? So the first group is Emily, Gina, Gretchen, and Katie. And then we see group 2, Tamra, Heather, Shannon, and Jen, right? So group 1, they arrived to New Orleans first. So did anybody catch how happy Gina was to say that she was flying them all out first class? I said, when has Gina and first class ever been in the same sentence? I'll wait. I said, Gina is just, I said, look at Gina. First, she had fresh crab and champagne at her housewarming. Now she's flying first class. We land in New Orleans and the women are staying at the 4 Seasons. I said, Gina went from the Red Roof Inn Motel 6 to the 4 Seasons. I said, Gina, girl, let me give you your propers. Girl, you ate that. Let me give you your propers. Okay, girl, you did that. Okay, I love the 4 Seasons too. Now, hold on. Let me just say, shout out to New Orleans. If I have any subscribers from New Orleans, I love your city. Baby, New Orleans is that girl. I want to stay at the Four Seasons next. I've stayed at the Ritz-Carlton and I stayed at the Roosevelt, a Waldorf Astoria hotel. Both stunning, but the Four Seasons, I'll be staying there next time I'm in New Orleans. But yes, honey, New Orleans is that girl, honey. So I was here for this trip. You said, wait, the shade of it all. You said perhaps it was her first time in first class. You said, woo, 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 all cute for her big age. Never too late, I guess. The shade of it all. You said Gina came up because Brooke done dragged her by her toenails for broke behavior. Gina did that. Yes, honey, I love y'all down, honey. My New Orleans, like y'all are it. Hey, Leonardo Decapitated. Thank you for the super chat. When Gina gets another season and Emily gets fired, will Emily still be friends with Gina if that happens? I could see that friendship going to the wayside because anytime one of your close friends gets fired from one of these shows, there's that tension that the other friend is still on there. So I would not be surprised if their friendship is contingent on them both being on the show. Yes, go to New Orleans, please. You're going to have the best time. You will have I promise you. I promise you, New Orleans is that girl. That girl. What the people, just the history, the architecture, just the food is just everything is amazing. I can't say enough. Just everything. New Orleans is that, like, one of my favorite cities, just beautiful. So we now have, so they're at the Four Seasons, they're all getting ready. Why do I keep losing my spot with my notes? Forgive me. So now we see group 2 with Heather, Shannon, Tamra, and Jen. They're at the airport boarding their flight. And of course, Tamra is like in a bad mood because she's with Shannon and Jen, two folks that she's not getting along with, right? So now we're back in, hold on. Okay, so now we see Gina, Emily, Katie, and Gretchen. They're on a steamboat. And I thought it was so funny because none of them knew the body of water that they were on. And I was like, girl, did you guys not take geography or social studies in class? Like, this is the Mississippi River. Like, what's going on? So that was really funny to me. But they're on the steamboat and they toast to being in New Orleans. And now they bring up Tamra. So you have Emily saying that she went horseback riding with Jen the other day, and Jen told her that Shannon was saying, don't roll on me. Shannon likes to have allies. Like, we both need to be against Tamra because, we're on the outs with her, right? So Emily says she doesn't want you to resolve your issues with Tamra because she's also mad at Tamra. So now Gina brings up Gretchen's issues with Tamra. And Gretchen says that she's prayed a lot about it. She has to be willing to take accountability. And did anybody notice how when Gretchen was talking on the boat, she sounded kind of funny? And somebody pointed out on Twitter that it must have been her veneers because she sounded really weird when on the boat. It was really weird. If you go back and watch the scene, it seemed like her teeth were like slipping out of her mouth or something because she sounded really weird. I was like, girl, are you okay? Emily knowing what "don't roll on me" means while Shannon doesn't is very telling. Production gives them a budget and they can add to it. Yes, but I know that for the more like popular and the more seasoned franchises, they get like a huge budget for vacations. I know that they have to upgrade themselves to first class, right? For some of them, so when Potomac first came out, remember when they went to Bermuda in the season 2, and then when they went to Cannes, Monique did the Cannes trip, and there was a whole thing about They were all in coach, and Monique and Charisse upgraded to first class. I know that when you're a new franchise, you have to pay for your upgrade. They put you in coach and then you can upgrade it yourself, right? But as you become, a more seasoned franchise, then it's automatic first class. So for Gina's trip, they all like all their stuff with all of it was first class because Bravo paid for it. But had Gina been new, had she been the newbie, she would have had to probably pay for her first class ticket. You said, so then Gina gets 0 brownie points. I'm screaming. So now we have the other group arrive in New Orleans. Katie goes right to Jen's room. They're talking. We see Gina going to Tamra's room. Tamra says that she's frazzled. She's nervous about going out to dinner with everybody because of the drama. Gina says that on the boat, they did talk about the whole fatty pictures of Jen. And so Tamra, first of all, Tamra being so worried about dinner is comical to me because Lord knows how many dinners that Tamra has orchestrated where she has set somebody up. So I don't feel any way about Tamra being nervous about dinner. Girl, it is what it is. Gina says, I just want to have a good night. So they're at the restaurant now. They're in a private room. Now, mind you, the room has like a ghost in it. So they're all kind of like, scared about that. So their server comes out taking their orders. Gina orders a turtle soup. Now, they were all making fun of Gina, but Miss Gina, I never thought I would see the day where I'm actually connecting with you because I love turtle soup. That was one of the first things that I ordered when I was in New Orleans. I licked the bowl clean. That's how good it is. If you are afraid to try it, y'all, I would not tell you to try something that was horrible. Turtle soup is so good. I mean, I devoured my bowl. Delicious, like chef's kiss. So when they were laughing at Gina, I said, don't laugh because that's one of the most decadent. I mean, it's just, y'all, I can't say enough, but yeah, the food in New Orleans is everything. And I feel like if you're in New Orleans, why would you just get a regular meal that you could get anywhere else? Like you're there to try the different the different foods, like try something new. But yeah, if you go to New Orleans, please order some turtle soup. Phenomenal. Yeah, it's actually turtle. You said, I don't want to eat a turtle, but I want to try it. I know turtles are so cute. Like I felt bad too, but I said, it's just like eating steak, or you know what I'm saying? Like don't think about it. Don't think about it, but it is delicious. Always try the local delicacies. Exactly. I'm always open to trying something new and it sounds good. Yes, it's actually turtle. It is. When I tell you it is delicious is not even the word. I had a crab beignet in New Orleans. I still think about it. Oh, that sounds good. My mom liked it. Oh, yes. You said you love it. You love it. The drinks fell on Heather. Best move. The fried oysters oh my gosh. Listen, those fried oysters. I had fried oysters at Acme. See, this is why they messed up having this trip in New Orleans because I'm getting sidetracked about the food. Let me, y'all, if you have not been to New Orleans, book a trip this year. Okay, book a trip. No, I'm telling you, you have never eaten so well until you've gone to New Orleans. Yes, the alligator is really good in New Orleans too. With that sriracha sauce on the side. Stop playing. Okay, yes, Acme is everything. Yes. Okay, y'all have me really hungry. Y'all have me really hungry. Okay, guys, let's get back to the recap. So they're all having a good time. Tamra's sitting up there being dry. I said, Tamra, you can go back to the hotel. Go back to the hotel, get some room service, and leave them all alone. Nobody's here for you pouting at the table. So now you have Heather asking Gretchen if she travels a lot and if she's away from her daughter a lot. Gretchen says not too much, But the one thing she regrets is not traveling without her. Oh, Heather says one thing that she regrets is not traveling without her kids. Gina goes on to ask Jen who's with her kids, and Jen says they're home with Ryan, even though it's actually Will's weekend. So now you have Heather asking how Ryan and Will interact, and Jen says they don't, but they actually did for the first time today. Ryan told him, pay your child support. So Jen says that Will is very controlling, and now with Ryan confronting him, Will is going to punish her, and this is now 10 steps back. Jen, if you don't take Will's behind to court and tell him either he goes to jail or he pays me the money, then I don't know what to say. Stop playing the victim, stop playing dumb, and really, please go to the courthouse. Do not let this man slide, making your life a living hell and not paying you your money. Get your money. What are you doing? I think that Jen is too passive. Jen is way too passive for me. Because he would be in jail. I don't care that that's my child's father. He would be in jail, period. It's ridiculous. Is this all real? Because nobody would put up with that, and it's not even legal that the man does not take care of his kids. She's a people pleaser. I agree. Exactly. Be a bad bitch and take his ass to court or send him to jail. Exactly. Get your money. Keep Ryan out the mix and put the law on him. Exactly. I don't think that Jen is playing dumb. She's less than smart. Damn. It's money for the child, Brooke. Yeah, I know that. You need the money. She needs the money for her children. So either put him in jail or have him pay up. And that is her money. The settlement is her money. That the child support, that's her money for her children. In jail, license suspended, passport revoked, all of it. There's another reason she's not taking him to court. Jen is holding something back. I'm getting that impression too, because it's not adding up to me. I feel this way too, because I'm not understanding why she won't take serious measures to get her money. I'm not understanding that. He's very worthless. Jen needs to get a backbone on this. It's starting to annoy me. What more could he punish to do? Yes. What more could he do to punish her? Listen, you said stop buying bikinis and go after this guy for your money. Exactly. Like, girl. So now they have Shannon. They're asking Shannon about her dating life. Jen's asking Shannon what's her ideal man. Heather goes on to ask if she would date a short guy. They all start laughing because Terry's not the tallest. So now we find out that Terry wears lifts in his shoes. I was screaming. So now Shannon says that she does enjoy spending time with the men from Love Hotel, but they're not having sex. So now you have Katie saying, well, I can't imagine being single. Now Tamra jumps in and says, yeah, you have to do blowjobs to get on top again. And Emily says, yeah, I don't do that anymore. And I said, did you ever? Let me stop. Let me stop. Y'all know I have always had thoughts about that marriage, but I'm going to just keep it cute. I'm going to keep it cute today. I'm going to keep it cute today. So now I think, Emily is always, you say, yup, that marriage is dry as stale bread. Okay. So now you have Heather asking them their favorite sex positions. Why does Emily always have to do the most with her answers? Emily talking about, oh, my favorite position is from behind because I can watch TV, and if I could get some snacks in there, I would. Emily, girl, this whole shtick with you talking about food all the time and putting food in your purse and now saying that you want to have sex from behind because you can eat some food and watch some TV. It's like, girl, enough with the tired joke. Please, please, please. Child. Yeah, Emily is not funny at all. She's not. I'm so tired of this little quirky stuff that she's trying to do. It's too much. You said you're surprised they had kids together. Listen. Yes, flatliners consistently. You said I'm gonna keep it cute and leave it alone for now. Same here. The food storyline is so tired. You said no Brazzers action in that house. Hey, Leonardo Decapitated, thank you for the super chat. Emily's favorite position is the third seat on the couch. Y'all better stop in this chat before y'all get me in trouble. Y'all better stop it. And y'all are always in rare form. But yeah, I said, Emily, can you please stop with that? So now I was actually shocked that Heather played the game, because we know that Heather acts real prudish when it comes to sex talk. But Heather, Heather had a few drinks on her, honey. She was loosened up. They say that Heather likes to be on top. And Heather says, yeah, big shock. So now they start imitating Heather. Heather says that she's never made a sex tape. And Katie says, what? So Heather's like, wait, you've done it? And now you have Shannon jumping in, and she says, well, of course Katie has, because she likes to record stuff. Now, Shannon, although you're pissing me off this season, you did eat that one little thing, because I was screaming when you said that. Like that girl, that was a read. That was a read, okay? So now Katie's like, yeah, Shannon, you're right. Then she says, why can't she just let this go? So now we have Tamra says that her favorite position is the side. She goes down on the ground and gives a demonstration. Why does Emily have to lay down on the ground with Tamra and give a demonstration with her? Like, you are so obsessed with Tamra. I'm like, oh my gosh. Why do we need you on top of Tamra? Like, let Tamra just do the demonstration. Why do you have to do it? Like, she just is so obsessed with Tamra. I mean, they want to talk about, Jen is single white female. No, it's Emily. Emily is so pressed to be all up on Tamra. I said, my God. Child, please. I mean, Emily is so thirsty. Now we find out that Jen's having some issues down there. She has surgery. She had pelvic floor surgery. So right now, all Ryan can do is put the tip in. I said, well, I'm not going to say what I said in my notes, but Katie had me screaming. She said, well, her mouth must be tired. But yeah, they actually have a really good time. Gina says that she had a really nice time, happy that we're all here. And now we see 24 hours later, they're all arguing and screaming. Tamra storms out saying that she quit. And that's the end of the episode. But yeah, this, episode 5 was cute, but episode 6 was even better. Hey, Ed S., thank you for the super chat. You are the best. Always chef's kiss. Thank you so much. Oh, you said Emily does not want Tamra calling her Shrek again. It has to be that. It has to be that, because the way Emily is so pressed, I mean, she is all over Tamra. It's like, my God, like, give her some space. You said those notes must be extra messy. They are. That poor waiter, he was side-eyeing Tamra and Heather. Yes, Emily is desperate for Tamra's approval. Emily gives me late bloomer, never the popular girl. Yes. Wait, you said they have something going on. Who? You think, what, Emily and Tamra? Emily loves doing Tamra's podcast. I'm sure she does. All right, y'all. So let's get into episode 6. So mind you, we see an opener. The ladies are after dinner in the last episode. They all went out partying on Bourbon Street. They were drinking some grenades. They're having a good time. They're throwing beads. Was it Tamra or Shannon who lifted up their shirt? They're actually having a really fun time. So now we see Gina asking Tamra, how are things going between her and Shannon? You guys do seem good. And Emily says they're not good. They're just coexisting. So now Tamra has the nerve to say that when Shannon gets angry, she holds on to it. Well, yeah, because how you played in her face last season, anybody would be holding on to that. You were horrible to your friend. So now Emily says, I don't like how Shannon is trying to dictate Jen's relationship with you. I said, Emily, why are you determined to be in Tamra's ear and her mouthpiece? Shut up. We don't need you playing the middleman. Please, it's enough already. Emily wants to be Tamra's spokesperson so bad. It's enough. Like, it's just aggravating. Tamra has screwed over Shannon and Jen. They both have the right to be mad at her. So please. You said it was Tamra. Shannon was not exposing the Spanx. Y'all have me screaming. So yes, you're right. It was Tamra. So now it's the next morning. They're all getting ready for the day. Emily's on the phone with the organizer of one of the puppy parades in New Orleans. She wants to be involved because she has 3 rescues herself and she loves dogs. So they're going to be later on in the day. They're going to be in the biggest dog parade that's, in the world. That's what the organizer says, right? So now the group is split up into 2 groups for the day. We see Gina, Heather, and Gretchen on the trolley going to the French market. Gina says that today is going to be really fun. Emily's going to take the other group called the Troublemakers. I forgot what they were doing. They were doing something else, but they're going to all meet up for dinner. So now we see Shannon, Tamra, and Emily in a car, and Tamra goes on to ask Shannon if she has any bruises from last night. We see a flashback. Shannon was on a mechanical bull. I think she fell off of the bull. And then she did some like cock riding or something. I think that's what it was called. So they're like, oh, do you have any bruises from falling off the cock? And then Emily's like, well, when was the last time you were on a cock? So Shannon says, well, it was a long time ago. So now they're like, wait, was the last guy you had sex with John Jansen? And Shannon says, yes. So now Tamra makes a joke saying, oh, we need to hire you a prostitute or a gigolo because, girl, you need some. I said, I think Shannon needs a lot more than that. She needs some therapy and she needs some healing, in my opinion, because Shannon was still frantic when she was with John, getting, digged down with, by his broke behind. So I don't know. I feel like Shannon needs a lot more than just sex. So now we see Katie in a car by herself. She's on the phone with her husband. She says that earlier she had it out with Shannon. They were all supposed to eat at Cafe Du Monde and get some beignets together. But Shannon said, I don't want to be around you. And then Shannon told her, I'm not going if Katie's going. So Katie said, you know what? You guys go and I'll go with the other group. Now, Katie, just off of principle alone, I would have let Shannon stand on that because I'll be damned if somebody tells me that they're going to kick me out of the group. I would have said, I'm going to Cafe Du Monde and I'm getting my beignets and I don't really give a damn how you feel about it. So go ahead with Gina and Heather and hang out with them, but I'm going. Like the fact that you're letting Shannon strong arm you like this, no ma'am. No ma'am. I said, nope. I was really annoyed by that. I'm really hating how they're treating Katie. Yes, and for Cafe Du Monde, I'm going and I don't care. Exactly. Listen, I love Cafe Du Monde down. Okay, like that. I was going there almost every day when I was in New Orleans. Please, I'll be damned if you tell me that I can't go. Absolutely not. Shannon, you can go somewhere else because I'm going, and I don't really care how you feel about it. I would have cursed Shannon out. Same here. I need Katie to get a backbone. Shannon's behavior was absolutely unacceptable. It was. I was so mad. So Katie makes a great point. She says, the fact that you were around Alexis all last season, who was suing you with your ex-boyfriend for 75 grand, and I can't eat a beignet with you, like, girl, please. Exactly that. Because let's be really clear. Shannon, you filmed multiple scenes with Alexis. Despite despite you not wanting to, you filmed with her and you talked to her. If you can film with Alexis, then you can film with Katie. If you can film with Tamra, who has set you up several times throughout your decade on this show, then you can eat and break bread with Katie. Just saying. This makes no sense that you're this angry at Katie, that you want to punish her this bad, but you have given multiple chances to people who have really set you up for failure. I'm sorry, Shannon. It's giving very much Karen behavior. Shannon's doing way too much. I agree. So now we're back on the trolley with Gina, Jenn, Gretchen, and Heather. And Jen's asking Gina, what did she think about last night? Gina says, I thought we had a lot of fun. It was good to have a night where it was just, straight up fun, no arguments. Now Gina goes on to ask Jenn and Gretchen if they plan on addressing the drama between them and Tamra. So Heather's like, Gretchen, were you in the room last night when Tamra said that she wanted to talk to you? And Heather says, Tamra's been in a very emotional state because of Teddy. Heather, stop. Please. Please. Tamra is pulling the sympathy card because she knows that she's wrong. So now Gina says it seems like a good opportunity because you guys can make progress. Gretchen says that if Tamra can take accountability, then there might be some chance to move forward. So now they arrive at the French market, which I love. Definitely a good place to go when you're in New Orleans. They're getting drinks and beignets. Gina says that she couldn't be happier that Tamra's not here to take her fatty photos of her eating the beignets. Now you have back at Cafe Du Monde, we have Tamra, Emily, and Shannon, and Tamra's emotional. She says the last time I was here was 4 weeks ago. I was there with Bronwyn and Teddy. We had a lot of fun. And it's bittersweet. Tamra, respectfully, my deepest prayers go out to Teddy. I really hope that she beats this. I'm praying for her family and her small children. But what we won't do is use your friend's illness as a storyline for sympathy. I'm not going to sit up here and do this with you. I'm not buying what you're trying to sell us. So please stop. I was so irritated. And if you're so distraught about Teddy, then you should have passed on the trip, respectfully. If I was so torn up about going to a city that I was at with a loved one who has cancer, if I knew that I'd be this emotional and distraught about it, I would just pass on the trip. But that's just me. Yeah, I don't believe those fake tears at all. Hey, 616 and San Machino. I hope I said that right. Joining late. Thank you for the super chat. Joining late, but can't wait to hear the dragging you'll give these weird ladies. Oh, we've been dragging. Yes, Heather feels like a defense attorney who knows her client is dead wrong. Right? Shaking my head. Stop using her diagnosis for the show. She is so low. I agree. Yes, and she's not on this franchise, so Tamra, zip it. Exactly. If I were Teddy, I'd look at my bestie sideways for milking my cancer diagnosis like this. Same here, because it's for attention. So now they go to Jackson Square to eat their beignets, and Shannon's asking, what am I going to do about this whole Katie situation? Emily says, just be indifferent. So now Shannon says, she just irritates me. Shannon? Katie just irritates you? So what about Alexis and what about Tamra Judge? Shannon, if you want to go, if you want to really go down the list of what has been done to you while you were on this show, sweetheart, do you not remember that you had castmates earlier on alleging that your ex-husband, David, was doing stuff to you and you forgave them and you're best friends with them still? Like, let's not do that. I mean, when you first joined the show, people were trying to set you up. Let's not forget how Heather when you first joined the first season 9, Heather almost had you at, having a 51-50. You almost had those grippy socks on. Like let's be real. Like the way the women on this show have almost set you up for your own demise. They almost had the men in the white coats come and take you. Like they almost had you committed in that season. So so the fact that if you can forgive them for all that, you can forgive Katie. I'm just saying, Shannon in this fake outrage is so tired. Yes, Heather was about to call an ambulance to send her to the psych ward. Remember that? She was, listen. That was a real dark time. That was a real dark time. I'm serious. They almost sent her. Heather, she sure did. Heather said that Shannon was having a psychotic break. She sure did. Listen, Heather was one of the people. Yeah, Heather broke the news about David's affair. She let's not do that. The way Heather played in Shannon's face when Shannon first came on this show, they all set Shannon up. That woman almost went into pure psychosis her first season on this show. Let's not forget that. Vicky, Tamra, and Heather, they had it out for her under the guise of they were concerned for her. And she could forgive all that for them for all their stuff. Tamra was horrible to you last season. Called you a drunk, threw your DUI in your face every chance that she got. But yet you can't stand Katie. Don't do that, Shannon. Don't do that. Is this a constant theme of icing out the black POC on the primarily white cast? It feels that way. Yeah, it does feel that way. Because Tamra told Heather, then Heather went around spreading it. I remember. Yep. Heather kicked her out the house. Yes. One day you'll all see the truth. But did she see? Yeah, listen. That moment was iconic. When Shannon was screaming all that, that was a mess. Then Heather later admitted that she knew David was having an affair. The entire cast stays coming for Shannon, but she has this much smoke for Katie. Child, I agree. Shannon is a hypocrite for doing this to Katie. I agree. Shannon also recorded all of them. Yeah, and Shannon's giving bigot towards Katie. Shannon's memory is too short. It is. And the nerve to call someone annoying. The way Shannon cannot emotionally regulate, she's annoying. I agree. The fact that she's going this hard on Katie, but letting Tamra and Heather slide tells me a lot. It makes no sense. It is a mess. You said Shannon is drinking again. Well, listen, whatever's going on, I think that Shannon needs to stop. She looks crazy. Shannon, you sound absolutely insane to say that you just can't stand Katie. I don't enjoy Katie. I find her boring and to be a weird liar, but Shannon's taking it too far. Yep, two things can be true. Katie can be a liar and a weirdo, but Shannon's doing too much. You said, I have so many feelings that I can't even articulate about what I feel about Shannon. I'm so over Shannon. For Shannon, Katie is her storyline. She needs to find something else because this isn't it. So now we have Emily saying that you have Emily saying that she was talking to Jen the other day and Jen told her that Shannon said, don't roll on me. So Shannon says, what? Don't roll on me? I don't even know what that means. So Tamra says, wait, so you never said that? So Shannon says, did I talk to her about my relationship with you? Yes, I did. What happened last year, I'll never forget about that because I was at a really low point. You called me a drunk. So Tamra says, I understand that. That's why I don't drink anymore. I don't drink a lot anymore because I've learned that alcohol isn't good for me. After one drink, that's when it gets nasty and dirty. I said, Tamra, it's taken you 58 years to realize that you and alcohol don't go together. It's taken you at almost 60 years of age to realize that you show your entire ass after one drink. It's taken you this long. Stop. I'm not here for this. And girl, don't do that, because we've seen you with a drink in your hand in every single scene. So don't do that. Don't do that. Like I just said, girl, it's taken you this long to realize that you and alcohol don't really agree. Like, really? I was so over it. And oh, let's talk about that. Tamra is terrible when she's sober as well. Exactly. So what's your excuse? Girl, you're terrible when you're inebriated and when you're sober. So again, what is she saying? Thank you for saying this. It's the truth. It ain't the alcohol, it's that nasty spirit of hers. Exactly. That's the real truth of the matter. It's not the liquor, that's her genuine spirit. Shannon seems like a drunk crybaby to me. Tamra has so many other wells of internal nastiness, she cannot blame the booze. I agree. Thank you. Tamra is a liar because Eddie Ben hated her drinking. How long have they been together? Thank you. Clock it. Eddie would always tell her that he did not like when she got drunk. So she can miss me with all this stuff about, well, that, I just realized that, me and alcohol don't really agree. Stop it. Child, we're having a good old time on this Saturday. So now, she says that the goal is to have conversations with people with no alcohol in her. She won't ever get wasted again. Shannon says, last night I had a good time. And now Tamara's like, Shannon, can we all just let it go? We have a 10-year friendship. One thing about me, I don't give one you-know-what about the length of a friendship. If you disrespect me or violate me in any way, the friendship is over. And if I have any former friends who are secretly lurking in this live, you know that's true. Because I have cut off friendships for a decade. I don't play that. The minute you get beside yourself and disrespect me, it is over. There is no conversation. I'm not going to be gaslit. I'm not taking you back. It's done. I don't care about the length of a friendship. Quantity does not matter. It's about quality. If it's all that matters is, are you a respectful person? That's it. I don't care about, oh, we've known each other for 10 years, 15 years. No, it's null and void when you disrespect me. So for you to use that to try to gaslight and manipulate your way back into Shannon's life, absolutely not. And I was glad that Shannon said, well, girl, I don't know. And she's still saying, well, it would be a shame for you to throw the friendship away. I don't like when folks do that. You will not sit up here and manipulate the length of time we've known each other to stay in a crazy friendship. Okay, listen. People play too many games. You will never get another chance to disrespect me. Absolutely. I don't care if the friendship was 20 years. Exactly. Good for you, bro. People be playing games. They do play games. They do play. Oh, they do play. They sure do. They sure do. They sure do. I don't like when folks say, oh, then that means that you never cared about me. That's not true. My thing is this. When I'm in that friendship or that relationship with you, I love you down. You better catch people when they care about you. Because when certain folks are done, they are done. And people will try to use all those little, euphemisms and phrases to make you feel guilty, make you feel like you're the villain. I'll be the villain. I don't care. I will gladly be the villain. But I'm not going to stay in any relationship, friendship, whatever. That's no. I don't play that. I have cut off several friendships that I've known for 10 years, 12 years, because no. I don't take disrespect. And you have one time to even pump fake like you're going to do something and it's over. I don't play that. I don't play that. I don't play. I care about myself more. Same here. Same. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will gladly be the villain. Thank you. I hate when they say you never cared about them. Like, I wrote down for you. What the hell do you mean? It's all gaslighting to get you to take them back so they can do it again. No, absolutely not. Thank you. I cared once upon a time, but when you do me wrong, you'll never have me care ever again. Say that one more time. Say that one more time. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that with folks. People sit up there think they can do whatever they want to you, and they think that you're not going to, say anything. You're going to, no. Mm-mm. So Tamra using that, oh, we've known each other for 10 years. Absolutely not. Thank you. Tamra insinuated a lot of nasty things last season, along with choosing ratings over solidarity. Exactly. She did Shannon so wrong. And for her to use the length of time they've known each other, no, ma'am. I was so done with that. So now you have Tamara still being a gaslighter, and she says, but Shannon, I love you, and I'm really sorry. So even Shannon was just like, you know what, girl, like, we'll see. Shannon says, I am hopeful that her apology is authentic, but we'll see. So now we're back over with Gina. Jen brings up the picture. Jen brings up the picture. Oh, no, now mind you, Katie went with the other group. So Katie's now with Gina, Heather, Gretchen, and Jen at the French market. So Jen's asking Katie about the picture of her, and she wants to know so bad, like, about it. So she says it felt like Heather was defending it. So Jen says, whatever the picture is, I can guarantee you that was when I was home, raising my family, not focusing on myself or my looks or the gym. She could take a note out of my playbook and raise her family. Jen, you don't have to explain yourself about what you used to look like. We're in the present. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like nobody's thinking about it, right? Like you look great now. Not saying that you look bad then, but like don't even. I understand that you're upset, but I promise you don't have to justify why you looked that way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. Now we see them all go to the dog parade. That was a cute moment. And now they're going to a voodoo shop. Respectfully, I don't want to offend anybody. For me, I grew up Christian. So I wouldn't, I love New Orleans. Damn, when I saw those shops, I just walked right on by. I would have told production, y'all have fun. I'm going to be at Acme, or I'm going to be at Cafe Du Monde, or I'm going to be, at the mall, or I would have passed on the voodoo stuff, the voodoo dolls. Like I would have passed on that. As for me, respectfully, like it's no disrespect, but just as for me, I would have, and I'm not going to hold you. Like I was kind of looking at this scene with like one eye open. I have my hand up like, Lord Jesus, it's just a show. Oh my God, like, please don't, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, I'm just saying for me, I literally have my hand up because I had like my hand on the remote and I was, you know what I'm saying? I said, Jesus, please. I said, it's just, I was watching like this and I had one eye open. I had like, oh, Lord Jesus, like, it's just a show. Listen, y'all, I just, you know what I'm saying? Yes, no, listen, y'all, I understand that I'm not disrespecting anybody who, but I was, so I kind of skip past this scene. So I don't really have that many notes on this scene. So that's what I'm trying to say, No, listen, again, I'm not trying to, I understand that, it's, spiritual practice, people do, but, I'm just, that's all I'm saying. Yes, people need to learn more about it. Listen, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just, you know what I'm saying? I just said, listen, let me just, one eye open. Now, mind you, Shannon, Gretchen, and Tamra, they don't participate, so they're outside while everybody else is making the voodoo dolls. Now while they're outside talking, Tamra says, I think that we should dress up for the boat ride tomorrow. Um, Shannon now starts asking Gretchen about what happened when Katie joined them earlier today at the French market. Gretchen says that she told me that you said that she was a criminal and you don't want to be around her. So Shannon says, I never called her a criminal. They played the flashback. Shannon did say that Shannon did say that Katie did do a criminal act. Now Gretchen says, well, I like Katie. And now Shannon says, well, why do you want to be friends with somebody who commits illegal acts? Now, the way Gretchen ate down, she said, in all fairness, Shannon, having a DUI is also an illegal act. I said, oh, and the way Shannon was so gagged, I said, Gretchen ate down. Gretchen ate down with that. I was here for that. Honey, listen, Shannon was so gagged. So Tamra says, this might be the first thing I ever agreed with Gretchen on. Tamra says, Shannon, give Katie another chance. And if she F's up again, then you could be mad. So Shannon says, this girl who went and tried to get her story reported about you, she had a meeting with Kiki Monique. So now Tamra says, well, I was warned about this story before we started filming. Someone let her know that Katie had lunch with Kiki Monique and said some horrible things about me. So we find out that allegedly Katie told Gretchen that Gretchen said to her that Tamra roofied her years ago. So Shannon says, wait, what? Are you kidding me? Gretchen gets up, she starts shaking. And now Tamra says 17 years ago, she brings up the whole naked wasted episode. That was 17 years ago, season 4. When Gretchen first joined the show, you've heard me talk about this episode. For all my OC watchers who are new to watching, season 4, when Gretchen joined, Vicky and Tamra were so jealous of Gretchen, they set her up to get shit-faced, like blackout drunk. And they were hoping to have Gretchen so drunk that she would hook up with Tamra's son, who had just turned 18. They wanted Gretchen to cheat on her older fiance who had cancer. Again, very vile behavior. So Tamra's referencing that night, saying that Katie said that Tamra roofied her that night. That episode was diabolical. That was horrible. That episode. I mean, I remember being so mad, and the fact that at that reunion, when Andy kept pressing them about an apology, they refused to apologize to Gretchen for that. I really never looked at Vicky the same. I always had like a love-hate relationship with Vicky, because Vicky could be very petty, just very nasty, very jealous-hearted. But I'll never forget that. That was very evil. What the F is wrong with Tamra? No wonder her kids don't talk to her. I know this episode, that was messy and evil. Yeah, for Tamra to even bring that up isn't doing her any favors. Tamra conveniently left out the Ryan part. Yup. Yes, he followed her into a bathroom. Terrifying. Yes, you're right. Oh, listen. Listen. Okay? Now that I'm grown, I'm gonna rewatch that season. Katie hasn't done anything on that level. I don't believe I don't believe it either. I'm shocked that Tamra's even acknowledging naked wasted. When I tell y'all get in this chat and cut up. And even now, Tamra's still saying she probably shouldn't have done it. Yeah, still no ownership in her confessional. No ownership. Because Tamra says, when Tamra said, was it nice of us to do that? No, but that's it. The fact that you still can't own up to what you did was pure evil says a lot about you. So now Gretchen says, hell no, I never said that you roofied me. She says, I'm trying to comprehend this, but I have this weird feeling considering who the source is. I love how Gretchen was like, I don't believe this. So now Gretchen says it's overwhelming for me to hear this. So now you have Shannon saying, put the recording aside. How dare you about Katie? So now she goes on to ask Tamra, how long has Tamra been holding on to this information? Tamra says 4 weeks. So Shannon says, oh my gosh, Gretchen, I'm just so sorry, sweetie. So Tamra says, I don't know if you said that about me because you hated me. And Gretchen says, if I thought that you did that, don't you think I would have put that out there by now? That's how, like, thank you, Gretchen, for using your brain. If me and a person have been sworn enemies for over a decade, and they tried to set me up to get drunk, if I honestly felt like they had drugged me, I would have said this years ago. I wouldn't sit on that now. So already Tamra has holes in her story. She is pulling this out of her ass to make Katie look bad and gain some sympathy and gain friendship with her and Gretchen. She knows good and damn well that this was never said. And Shannon, your hate for Katie is clouding your judgment. Because for you to be you're so pressed to believe that Katie said this. Really? Like, I was so irritated. And you know Tamra's playbook. So why are you so pressed to believe Tamra? I was so aggravated. So now you have, Shannon was really pressed to believe that it's Katie. So Tamra says that she does want to sit down with Gretchen and talk to her. She does want to apologize. She says so many things were blurred because I was with Simon at the time. But she says, Gretchen, you're so beautiful now and you're a mom now. It's different. Again, Gretchen is me. Gretchen said, I'm not buying this. Something in the milk ain't clean. This is some BS. It's a scheme that Todd cooked up to bring us the BS because no, ma'am. She says that Tamra is excellent at making you hopeful that things are changed when they're not. So now Gretchen starts crying and she says, I can't do this again. I cannot be back in this ish again. It's too much for me. So now you have Shannon saying Katie is insinuating that Tamra committed an illegal act. That's so disgusting. She said, this takes Katie's issues with everybody to another level. Shannon, you should really feel ashamed of yourself that you are so, eager to believe that Katie would cook something up like this. Like, I think that there's a real problem for you to want to believe that Katie would be a part of that when you know that Tamra is one of the most evil people on the franchise. For you to sit up here and believe that Katie would do this, like, are you serious right now? And just like Gretchen said, Gretchen was the one who experienced this. Gretchen and Tamra have hated each other since the time that Gretchen joined the group. Don't you think that if Gretchen felt like Tamra had drugged her, she would have said this already? Gretchen would have said this. She would not have waited until 2025 to say this. She would have said this back in 2010. She would not have waited 15 years. So what are we doing here? This is a lie that Tamra cooked up. Thank you. Why would they bring it up if Tamra is trying to get along? Please, the first moment she would bring it up, she did. Exactly. Fake outrage. And the one pulling your strings telling on herself. Gretchen cleared, hands down. I'm glad Gretchen is back clocking Tamra. They talk about Gretchen's looks. They're so jealous of her. Shannon is ridiculous. Yep, Shannon, shut up. You said Todd will never know peace. This is a Phaedra / Candy level lie. I agree with that. Shannon is so dumb. They're mad about Katie taping Shannon when Heather did the same thing to Kelly Dodd in Ireland season 11. It's wild work. And trust me, I'm no fan of Kelly, but wrong is wrong for everyone. Oh, yes. And did you see on Heather was on Watch What Happens Live a few nights ago, and a viewer brought that up. And when I tell you, Heather went around and around the mulberry bush to defend why she recorded Kelly Dodd, to why what Katie did was horrible. I said, no, ma'am. Even Andy was staring at her like, your response, like, your answer makes no sense. Heather was reaching to justify what she did to Kelly in season 11. I said, the way these women will contort themselves to justify what they do is nasty work. And I hope that I think that we need to send that question in again at the reunion for Heather for them to read it to Heather, because I need Heather to explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. How was it okay when she did that to Kelly Dodd, but it's not okay when Katie does it? Let's really wake it up. And Heather, baby, I know your arm hurt from that reach to defend what you did. I said, girl, I know your arm is hurting. Why is Heather talking? Katie should bring it up. I agree. Tamra was threatened by Gretchen all those seasons ago, and she still is. She's threatened by Jen also. Yeah, she's very threatened by them. Jealous. That's right. Heather's slip is showing. I don't buy the marriage with Terry. Spinning the storylines. Oh my, I'm so glad you brought that up about Kelly Dodd, because Heather absolutely did do the same thing on that trip to Ireland. That trip had to be one of the most disturbing trips I've ever watched out of the Housewives. That trip was up there top 3. Like they all lost their minds in Ireland. It was really bizarre. So now everybody's back at the hotel getting ready for dinner. And we have Tamra going to Shannon's room, and they're making small talk. She's teasing Shannon about her hair. And now Shannon is like, what's in your glass? Now, Tamra, I know my eyes work. I know I'm not crazy. But when you said that you had water in that glass, when there were clear, but there was not a clear liquid. It was clearly champagne. The bubbles were floating up top. I said, you're going to sit up here and lie? That is not water. That's not even seltzer water. I said, girl, why are we lying? It's clear that you're drinking wine or champagne or Prosecco or something. I said, why are you going to lie like this? I would have just said it's ginger ale at the very least. Say it's Sprite. I mean, I could have taken that. Just say it was soda at the very least. But you're gonna lie and say that it's water. I said, a bold-faced lie. And production zoomed in on it. I said, girl, that is not water. So anyhow, she says that she's nervous talking to Shannon. Tamra says that there's such a deep, dark thing. Shannon says, hearing what you told us today, I'm still upset about it. Now Tamra says, it feels great to have Shannon on my side again. I said, girl, what? The fact that these women continue to get played by Tamra Judge is beyond me. Shannon, you're a fool. When you said, well, I have your back, girl. No, Tamra said, I have your back, girl, to Shannon. The fact that y'all are sitting up here about to pin this all on Katie is wild. And Shannon, you are the biggest dummy that I've seen, for Tamra to play in your face like this. And Tamra, for you to say, oh, it feels so good to have Shannon back on my side again. Your slip continues to show. You don't mean anybody any good. You're just here to get some allies to support your BS. That's all it is. She don't have anybody's back but her own. Exactly. It's a constant track record. That's all it is with Tamra and Alliance. I'm so over Shannon. Same here. Throw the whole team away. The on my side comment was odd. The others may not say it, but they operate by the same model. Exactly. Shannon completely lost me when she went back to Tamra. I was done. Maybe Alexis should have stayed and Shannon should have left. Yeah, now I'm like, yeah, bring Alexis back. Bring Alexis. I never thought I would say that. Bring Alexis back. You said not her slip. Shannon's Spanx keep showing. Shannon's asking for it and she's going to get it. Yup. She got rocks in her head. Oh my gosh. Now we have Jen in Gretchen's room. Gretchen's in a really bad mood after what Tamra told her earlier today. She says that she tells Jen what happened. Sorry if okay. So now we cut to Tamra telling Emily, Heather, and Gina in the car on their way to the restaurant that she had a heart-to-heart with Gretchen, and she tells them all what happened about how Katie allegedly told Gretchen that she roofied her years ago. So Gina says, what in the literal F? Are you serious? So Gina says, at Heather's party, you were saying that she planted some story. Then she says, I don't trust Katie. but I do feel like Tamra is an all opportunity kind of girl, and she is. So Gina does say, I do want to hear Katie's side of the story because I don't know what to believe. Now, Gina, you know that Tamra is a liar. You know how she gets down. So for you to say, well, I need to hear this before I make my decision on who to believe, you know that Tamra is a liar, and Tamra will throw anybody under the bus. I hate how Gina keeps saying, you know, I like Katie. I want to like Katie, but, you know, she is, you know, she's this and that. Gina, shut the hell up. Because if we're being honest, Tamra only tolerates you and Emily. You are her little sidekicks. You're her minions. You know, I don't like all that. And Gina's quick to throw somebody under the bus, too. Look at Gina's track record. Gina will throw you under the bus. Look at how she did Bronwyn when Bronwyn was on the show. Gina will throw you under the bus quickly for the approval of the OGs. So for Gina to say, oh, you know, I like Katie and I want to like her, but you know, this keeps happening. Girl, again, shut up. Gina's never liked, no, it's so true. Gina never liked Katie. It's true. Gina will turn on you quickly. Hey, Amina, thank you for the super chat. I don't watch OC, but I love hearing your take on things. I'm living for your Black Girl Joyful Summer content on Insta. Yes, Brooke. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, even if you don't watch OC, I have to say, this is their 19th season. It's a lot to get into, but I always say start at season 9 when Shannon joined. I mean, I know I always say this. I think that OC is one of the most underrated franchises. They've always given you a good story. Like OC, I think definitely is top 2 when it comes to a good story. The cast, they're all intertwined. Like OC, I really feel does not get their flowers when it comes to a good season. They always give you something, always. But thank you so much. Gina needs a lifeline. If Tamra tells her not to like Katie, she won't. Exactly. I believe none of them genuinely like Katie. Gina is a flip-flop to me. Yes. Gina wanted rich contacts. Agreed. So now we have, so they arrive, they get to the restaurant first, right? And now we're back to Gretchen, Jen, and Katie at the hotel because they're still getting ready. So Gretchen's telling Katie what happened earlier. And she's like, Katie, did you say that? So Katie says, what? Like, no. Then she says it's all coming together. Last month, me and Tamra went out to dinner at the Quiet Woman. And Tamra said something to me about a planted story. And then you have Heather questioning me 2 weeks ago. I feel like this was their plan the whole time to make me look like the bad person. Why are they doing this to me? Katie says, Gretchen, I didn't do this. So Gretchen says, I believe you, Katie. Gretchen goes on to say, I asked Slade a few hours ago, and he said, this does not even sound like Katie. Like, I don't believe this either. Gretchen goes on to say that when you've dealt with somebody who has gone to the greatest lengths to destroy people and harm people, it's hard to believe that they're now innocent, and somebody who's never shown me that would do that. Again, God bless Gretchen for having the sense that God gave her. I said, thank you, Jesus. So now back at the restaurant, they're all in front of the restaurant. And Tamra says, oh, Shannon, by the way, I told them in the car what happened. So Shannon's like, oh my gosh, you did? So as they're at the restaurant, they're still waiting on Jen, Gretchen, and Katie. So they're in the car on their way there, and Katie's like, I'm so effing pissed. I didn't do this. Now we flip back to everybody else at the restaurant, and Shannon says, can we talk about Katie being late? Why is she late? I said, Shannon, are you okay? Are you dumb? She's not the only one late. She's with Gretchen and Jen. Why are you singling out Katie? And I'm sorry, Shannon, you're looking a bit racist. That you're just narrowing in on the only Asian woman on the cast. Why do you care if she's late? Again, she's not the only one late. You guys are still waiting on the rest of the group. I was so mad. Like, what is that? I was so aggravated when she said that. Do you have the same smoke for why Jen and Gretchen are late? Like, I was so pressed about Katie. I was so aggravated. Thank you. Gina is a slight toleration. One wrong move and Tamra's going to take her through it. Exactly. I was so aggravated by that. How dare you question why she's the only one late? She's with Jen and Gretchen, you dummy. I was so aggravated. So now we have Gretchen, Jen, and Katie walk into the restaurant. Mind you, they're all in a private room. You can cut the tension with the knife. You can cut the tension with the knife. Katie says that is awkward. You know that feeling when everybody's talking about you. She knows that they've been talking about them. So now Emily's like, why are you guys so late? So Gretchen says, well, it's my fault. I was still getting ready. So now Tamra is like, hey, Gretchen, can we talk privately for a minute? They get up and talk. And Tamra's like, Gretchen, do you want me to bring it up tonight or not? So Gretchen says, well, I talked to Katie about it before we got here, and she said that she did not do it. So now Gretchen says, and I believe her. Now, mind you, as they're off to the side talking, Katie goes to the restroom. Shannon, I'm about to wear you out. Shannon, I'm really upset because I've always had a soft spot for you, and I've always defended you for the most part, but you have me entirely messed up. When you're policing a grown woman using the restroom, sweetheart, you have the game entirely effed up. Who the F do you think you are to say, oh, why is she going to the restroom? Do you see that? Katie's going to the restroom. You see that, everybody? Katie's going to the bathroom. Why is she going to the bathroom? Excuse me? I would have turned around and I would have turned you every which way but loose. Don't you ever question me, a grown-ass woman. You don't pay not nan bill. How dare you question why I'm using the restroom? Have you lost your mind? I was so pissed. I said, Shannon, you are making yourself look like a racist. I was shocked. I said, this was crazy. I said, oh, Shannon. I said, the fact that you went from fan fave to now a disgrace. I was so shocked. I was floored. Just like you never liked Julia, I always felt the same way about Shannon. I'm glad folks are waking up now and seeing Shannon for who she truly is. Oh, listen, honey, I always had a soft spot for her, but yeah, I'm seeing that Shannon's definitely giving big Karen vibes. Shannon is the Ramona of OC. That disturbed me. I never thought this would happen with Shannon. Yes. She's giving an absolute crazed bigot. We have never seen Shannon act like this. We've seen her act crazy before. So disturbed by Shannon and the way she got worse 10 minutes later. I believe everything the host of the Love Hotel said about her. Shannon's always been elitist at best. You said you never liked Shannon. You never liked Julia either. I clocked that Julia first season, same. Yeah, I said, baby, get off of Katie's back for real. No, you don't. I'm so sorry, Shannon. You have no right to question why another grown woman, grown person is going to the restroom. Don't you ever, one thing, I don't like being questioned, and I'll be good and damn. Don't you ever question me. I don't care if we like each other or not. You're not questioning why I'm getting up from the table to powder my nose. If I want to use the restroom, I can use the restroom. I don't need you questioning me about that. How dare you? I love Shannon, and this thing was disturbing and broke my heart. Yes, it was a complete shit show. Shannon lost her mind at this dinner. Shannon lost her mind. So we see Katie use the restroom, and then she finds out, she sees where Gretchen and Tamra are, and she goes over to them. So Katie says, Katie says, Tamra, I didn't do that. So then Tamra says, well, why did I get calls from 2 people? So Katie's asking her, well, who did you get a call from telling you this? So of course, Tamra, being the liar that she is, says, oh, they don't want to be named. I'm not going to say who told me this. No. You don't get to make a claim like this, throw my name in the mix and tell me that you can't say who it is. No. If you want to lie on me, tell me who said it. Let's clear this up right now. Let's clear this up right now. You don't get to throw out a statement like this about me and then say, well, no, I don't want to say anything. I won't tell you. No. And that's how you know Tamra's lying, because if somebody did tell her that Katie said that, she would have said the names. Girl. Ooh, this episode really had me hot. These last 15 minutes had me hot. So Tamra says, so Gretchen says, well, I was looking forward to moving forward with you, Tamra. We can either harp on this. And now Tamra's like, wait, what? Are you saying that I pulled this out of my ass? You don't believe me? So Tamra now storms off and she walks back into the room and she says, oh my gosh, guys, Gretchen believes Katie. So here goes Shannon. What? Are you effing kidding me? What do you mean Gretchen believes Katie? Are you serious right now? So then she says, so now Tamra says, I feel completely blindsided by Gretchen. You have Shannon still going off about how she can't believe this. So now Katie walks back in the room and you have Shannon saying, congratulations, Katie, your excuses worked for once. Katie has the patience of Job, because I would have gotten right in Shannon's face and I would have called her everything but a child of God. Shannon, this does not concern you whatsoever. You are sitting next to women who almost put you in the psych ward. You're breaking bread with another woman who was spreading around how your husband was cheating on you. Heather was over there recording Kelly Dodd back in season 11. You have had these women play in your face time and time again. You had Tamra laughing at you being sued by your ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend. And you have the audacity to sit up there and do this to Katie. I was livid for Katie. Katie was like, Shannon, please shut up. You know, you're not even involved in this. Be quiet. So you have, so then you have Katie saying something. Wait, what else? She said something else to Katie. No, she said something else to Shannon, I believe. I was glad that Katie told her, like, girl, can you please just shut up? Just like, shut up. Oh, so now Shannon says, no, I'm not going to shut up. You've hurt every single person at this table. Shannon, and every single person at this table has hurt you. So what are you talking about? If you can still break bread and slap 5 with Tamra Judge, then surely you can forgive Katie. Shannon, I just want you to know that you do not have the public side. Everybody's, for the most part, is on Katie's side. You look absolutely crazy. You look racist AF. This is an embarrassment. You said somebody would need to call the ambulance. Listen, Shannon was so annoying at that table. She is racist. Child, it was very hard to watch. I love how you really clock these housewives and see it for what it is. I too was living for Katie. It was hard to watch. Shannon has lost it. No, she has. So now you have, so Katie says, I've apologized and I've owned up to everything. So now Shannon this is what really drove me nuts. Like, y'all don't understand. My blood was boiling. When Shannon starts screaming at Katie, the disrespect to scream at somebody. When she says, oh my gosh, I just can't stand you. I said, where's Julia and where are Monique Samuels when you need them? Where is Floyd Mayweather? Like, where are the fighters when you need them? Let me stop it. Even, it's bad when even Heather says, now, Shannon, I love you, but it's too much. You have Gretchen jumping in and saying, Tamra has said so much ish to me. You think I'm going to just believe her? No. So now Jen's asking Katie if Katie ever asked Tamra about it. Tamra says, no, I wanted to ask Gretchen. The way that Heather kept like chiming in with her ad libs every 5 seconds was so annoying. I said, Heather, just stay out of this. It does not involve you. Like, please be quiet. Like Heather and Shannon, but they were both getting on my nerves. They were all getting on my nerves, except for Katie and Jen and Gretchen. So now when I tell you, Jen, 5 points for you, the way you sat there and you turned it right on Tamra, I said, flawless. Jen says, well, if we want to talk about, Katie, then let's talk about the fatty picture that you keep showing everybody of me. We all want to call Katie out, but everybody's been hurt by you too. I said, Jen, call it out. I said, thank you, Jesus. Somebody has some sense at this table. So Tamara's like, well, I don't care about that. I was just retaliating. Jen says, no, girl, we're not going to do that. So now Tamara says, well, you reached out to me back in 2013 as a fan. So Jen's like, what the F are you talking about? Like, you're not making any sense. Baby, Jen had me screaming. She said, are you on something? Are you on Xanax? Because you're not making any sense right now. Emily jumping in. Emily, respectfully, we don't want to hear what you have to say. Just sit there and eat your food, please. Like, be quiet. So now you have Jen asking, what's the issue? So Tamara is like, I don't know, what is it? Tamara says, we've been going tit for tat for the past 2 years. And now Gretchen's like, where did all of this start in the first place? So now Tamara, here's where Tamara gets crazy. Tamara turns around and snaps at Gretchen and she says, none of your effing business, Gretchen. You don't know anything. So now Katie jumps in because she's confused. Tamara tells her to F off. When I tell y'all, Shannon and Tamara would have gotten it today. Shannon and Tamara would have gotten it on that day playing with me. That table would have been turned, y'all, that table would have been turned every which way but loose. Tamara and Shannon Bador would have gotten it from me on that night. The way they were speaking to everybody drove me insane. I love how now Gina, and it really is going to pain me to say this, but Gina, for the first time, I had to actually applaud you because you actually stood for something. When Gina said, now, Tamra, I'm gonna need you to calm it down. You're being rude and you're slosh, like you are shit-faced. When Gina pulled rank, I said, all right, Gina. I said, well, let them know. Gina said, this is my table. This is my dinner. This is my trip. I don't appreciate you being rude. I said, okay, Gina. I said, all right, Gina. All right. All right. Gina says, girl, you have one eye open, the other eye's closed. Because Tamara was at that table. Tamara was at that table done. Tamara was giving you a good old, tongue out her mouth. Like she was good. And I mean, it was clear that she popped a Xan. I don't know, she popped a perk. She popped something and she has some liquor to wash it down. It was definitely giving, she was mixing something with some alcohol. Yes, you said no Jersey accent in sight. First time for everything. Yes, Gina, give her 10s. Gina got some points. Yes, Gina got some points. She sat up straight and finally had good posture for once. I'm screaming. Gina's commission check cleared. Don't get used to it. Tamara was gone off of water. Mm-hmm. The few fans of Gina are being recognized today. You have me screaming. You said Gina is underrated, period. Wait, are you one of the few fans of Gina Kirschenheiter? I am screaming. Gina, we may get on you, but we'll applaud you right now. Exactly. I am screaming. You said that. Listen, Gina said that was Big G, not the little one, honey. She said, put some respect on my name. Y'all have me screaming today. Let me just put the comment up. You said the few fans of Gina are honey. You said you're gonna get your propers today. I'm gonna leave your comment up for the time being because you said you're gonna get your recognition today. You better come and get your recognition today. Oh my gosh, y'all have me in tears. Gina says, girl, you have one eye open. It is not fun being in the middle of your BS. So now Jen's like, let's table it. Tonight's not the night. I don't know what's going on with you, Tamra, but you don't seem like you're in your right mind, if we're being honest. So now they're eating their food. Emily's trying to make jokes to lighten the mood. Girl, Emily, just be quiet, please. You have Heather offering up her gumbo. She offers some to Tamra, and now Tamra's like, I don't want anything from you. So one thing about me, I don't come and do disrespect. It was reminiscent of the way Mary embarrassed Angie K at the dinner table in last season's finale when they were in Mexico. No, ma'am. I would have worn Tamra out. And Heather, you should feel embarrassed because you've been going so hard for her to talk to you so crazy. Heather is shocked. So even Shannon's worried. Shannon says, I don't know how many drinks Tamra's had. Just 5 hours ago, she told me that I would never see her wasted again. But I don't know what's going on. So now Tamra gets up to leave. Emily's like, what the F is going on right now? And Gina's like, it's bad. So even Emily says that Tamra is out of it. It's so bad. We see Tamra at the elevator and the producer's asking her if she's okay. And now Tamra says, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I want to be out of here. I said, girl, good riddance. Like, please, like, we don't want you on our screens. So Gretchen says when she gets psycho, you can see something is not right. So now you have Heather running after her to ask her what's going on. Heather, you're better than me because if you embarrass me at that dinner table saying that you don't want anything from me, F off at the table, I'm not going after you. I could give a damn about what happens to you going forward, please. Tamra's playing victim. She says, no, all of a sudden I'm the asshole. I'm not doing this. Then she says, Gretchen, this girl has contacted my daughter. She called my husband gay. She's gone after me 1,000,000 times. That's not true. First of all, if I remember correctly, it was Vicky, your good buddy old pal, who was saying that Eddie was gay, not Gretchen. Also, all the lowdown things that you've done to Gretchen, you will not play victim tonight. We're not doing this. And also, Gretchen did not contact your daughter, you idiot. Your daughter posted on Facebook that you were a horrible mother. And Gretchen commented and said, God bless you. I hope that you're doing better. I'm praying for you. Let's not, you always want to twist the story up. You always do this. Always want to be the victim and villain at the same time. So now she says, F off, you guys can have her, I'm done. So now Heather's like, hello, I'm on your side, and now you want to come after me? Heather, girl, I don't have anything for you. You knew what you were signing up for. Tamra has stabbed you in the back several times, so you knew what was going to happen. You thought that fat meat wasn't greasy. Now here we are. I'm not doing this. I said Heather gets no sympathy from me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to check on somebody who just cursed me out at the table. No, ma'am. Because honestly, it's F you, it's F everybody surround next to you. If you embarrass me, I'm done with you. I'm not doing this. Yeah, on and off screen. I'm not doing this. So now Heather's back at the table and she says, I'm really worried about her. So Gina says she took a Xanax or something and then she had a drink. So Heather says she's very upset and does not want to be around anybody. You have Tamra saying that she doesn't feel loved or wanted. There's no place for her in the group. There isn't a place for you in the group, girl. Leave. Leave the damn show. We're tired of you. You have Gina saying Tamra just texted me to F off. Heather says, Gina says, I've had it with Tamra. You claim that you're working on yourself and personal growth, but this behavior is unacceptable. So now we flip to Tamra in the back of a car. She's calling up Eddie, whining and crying, asking if he can book her a flight back home. I said, why do folks do that? You don't need anybody else to book you a flight back home. It is easy. All you have to do, I'm sure you flew Delta. The Delta app is right on your phone. I can book a flight while I'm talking to you guys at the same time. You don't need somebody else to book a flight for you. You could do it right on your phone, girl. Like, you have the app. You have the if you fly American Airlines, you fly United Airlines, you have the app on your phone. You could book the flight right now. You can book a hotel on your, like, we don't need it. Like, who are you? You said Eddie don't want her back home. He doesn't. Tamra's number would have been blocked. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Ed S., thank you for the super chat. Brooke Ashley does not play. She will rightfully wear all the idiots out to the end. I would love it if Brooke hosted all the reunions. I would love that too. From your lips to God's ears. Now, may I tell you something? I'm going to tell you all this when the time is right. But all I'm going to say is, you know what? I'm away. I'm away. I don't mean to tease you all, but I have a story time that's going to actually blow y'all's wigs back. Actually, yeah, because y'all know I'm good and fair. Y'all know I'm fair. So yeah, I have a story time for y'all, and when I tell you it, it's gonna blow. You're gonna be in shock. You're gonna be in shock. You're gonna be in absolute shock, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna leave that alone for the time being. You said if you hosted the reunions, we actually get something worth watching. I'm screaming. Honey, listen. So Gina says, oh my gosh, did you guys see what she put on Instagram? Tamra posted on Instagram that she quit the show. So Jen says, no doubt in my mind that she uses information to extend an olive branch to Gretchen. And then once again, she threw Katie in the line of fire. And now we see Tamra saying, I'm out. I don't need this. Bye. And now we see a to be continued. Now, child, this episode was good, but it was infuriating to watch the last 20 minutes of what went down. I mean, Shannon lost her good mind. Tamra lost her mind, but I think what really just blew me was Shannon's hate for Katie. Listen, y'all. Listen, like, this episode took it out of me. Yeah, like, guys, I'm like still trying to calm down because this episode really just pissed me off. I want to make sure I didn't forget any super chats. I'm late. Oh, hey, your agent Kayla. Thank you for the super chat. I'm late, but I was waiting on this recap. Tamra is just vile and bitter. Oh, wait, I think I read yours. I read yours earlier. I did read it. Yes. I read this. I read yours. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Hey, your agent Kayla. Thank you for the super chat. Shannon is finally showing us exactly who she is. Oh, absolutely. Her slip definitely showed. Definitely. Hey, Adam Boggs McDonald. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, friend. Just joined the live. It's a sad day in hell when I agree with Gina of Krampus back in bunk bed, bleach head over Tamra. I'm screaming. You said bunk bed, bleach head. I really wish that she had quit. I love Shannon. I'm very activated, y'all. I was too done by this final scene. I was so irritated. I really wish that we had gotten 2 episodes back to back of OC versus Miami. That's how good this episode was. With Tamra gone, we might actually get a season of peace and sisterhood. I agree. I'm telling y'all, Noella and Katie would make a chaotic duo. That's the new beach blonde bad body. I wish they would at least surrendered and not let her come back after quitting. I agree. Woo! You said between Tamra and Shannon on OC and Lars's antics on Miami, I was heated on Thursday night. Tamra's mind done been lost. Listen. The housewives only get to storm off and quit once. Do it again and you're permanently fired. They should do that. They need to stop letting these housewives quit. Let them quit then. Let's put your money where your mouth is. I was okay, you want to do that? Okay, well, you're done. She's not going anywhere, unfortunately. I feel like Tamra was thinking she was replaced by Gretchen. I never really cared for Shannon. She goes where the wind blows. The new bleach blonde bad bill. I didn't even think about that. Child, y'all, I'm going to close out. Yes, if you leave the dinner early, you don't get paid that day. Y'all, I'm going to close out this live, but I had a great time. I had to talk about OC first because this episode really just had me screaming. So you can, I have to watch the newest episode of Miami, and then I'll do a live for Miami in the coming days, okay? But look out for Miami live, and I will see you all then, okay? But I love y'all. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and I will see you all soon. Bye, guys. And thank you guys for everything. Always a good time. Thank you to all my moderators. Shout out to y'all. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. I really appreciate all of y'all. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.